Hello, friends. In this lesson, you will learn about my trip at the A2 level of English. All words will be read clearly and slowly so that you can understand them. Watch this video to the end to find out if your level is suitable for A2. Today, I want to share with you the beginning of my first train journey. It wasn't just a trip from one city to another. For me, it was the beginning of a new kind of adventure. I've always loved walking, loved buses, even flown on planes. But traveling by train? That was something new. And everything new is always a little scary and very exciting. Waking up early. The alarm on my phone rang very loud. It was 5:30 in the morning. I opened my eyes. The hostel room was dark and quiet. For a second, I did not know where I was. Then I remembered. I was in another country. I was not at home. And today I was going to take my first train. I sat up on the bed. My body felt a little heavy, but my heart felt light. I stretched my arms and legs. I could hear a small sound from the street outside. Maybe a car. Maybe a person walking. The city was still sleeping, but I was awake. I looked at the ceiling. It was white with some small shadows from the streetlight. I thought, it is still night. But I must wake up. The train will not wait for me. I took my small bag of toiletries and went to the bathroom. The corridor of the hostel was quiet. No one was walking. I opened the door of the bathroom and looked in the mirror. My hair was messy, and my eyes looked a little tired. I turned on the tap. Cold water came fast. I washed my face. The cold water made me feel alive. I brushed my teeth slowly. I listened to the sound of the brush. It was funny to hear it in the silence of the morning. Then I went back to my room. I put on my clothes, a simple t-shirt, a jacket, jeans, and comfortable shoes. I wanted to feel free to move. I wanted to feel ready for the trip. I touched the pocket of my jacket. I wanted to check my ticket again, even if I already checked it last night. I took it out and looked at it. The paper was small, but it meant a big adventure. It said, Train 542 to Vienna, 7:10 a.m., Platform 4. I went to the small kitchen. The lights were on, but nobody was there. It was strange to be alone. Usually the kitchen was full of people in the evening. But now it was only me. I boiled water and made tea. The smell of tea made me smile. It felt warm and safe. I put jam on a piece of bread. I ate it slowly. The taste was sweet. I also had one banana. It was soft and fresh. While I ate, I thought about the train. I thought about the people I would meet. Would they be friendly? Would they talk to me? I was a little afraid, but also very curious. On the table there was a map of the city. Another traveler probably left it there. I looked at it and traced the line from my hostel to the railway station. Not far, I thought. I can do it. After breakfast, I went to my room again. My backpack was on the bed. I opened it and checked everything one more time. Passport, yes. Ticket, yes. Wallet with money, yes. Phone and charger, yes. Bottle of water, yes. Notebook and pen, yes. Extra t-shirt, yes. I smiled. Everything was ready. I closed the backpack and put it on my shoulders. It felt a little heavy, but it was okay. I looked at the bed one last time. The blanket was messy, but I did not care. I looked at the window. The sky outside was turning from black to gray. The city was waking up. I whispered, "Goodbye, little room. Thank you for the night." Then I opened the door, walked down the stairs, and left the hostel. The street outside was quiet. There were no people, only a cat walking slowly near the wall. The air was cold, and I could see my breath when I exhaled. I pulled my jacket closer and started walking. The buildings around me looked tall and dark. Some windows had lights, but most of them were black. I liked this early morning feeling. It was like the world was only mine. I heard the sound of a bus far away. I also heard my own footsteps. Step, step, step. They were clear and loud on the empty street. I felt both small and big at the same time. Small, because the city was huge. Big, because I was brave to go alone on this trip. After some minutes, I arrived at the metro station. The entrance was bright with lights. A man in a uniform stood near the door. I went inside. The station was almost empty. I bought a ticket from the machine. The machine beeped and gave me a small paper ticket. I kept it safe in my pocket. I walked down the stairs. The tunnel was long, and the lights were yellow. My steps echoed. It felt like I was walking inside a dream. On the platform, only a few people were waiting. A woman with a suitcase. A young boy with headphones. An old man reading a newspaper. The metro train arrived quickly. The doors opened with a sound, ding. I went inside. The metro car was not full. I chose a seat near the window. The doors closed. The train moved. The lights in the tunnel moved fast. The train made a soft sound, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was like music. I looked at the people. Some looked sleepy. Some looked serious. Nobody spoke. It was quiet. I thought about my train ride. I thought, this metro is only a small part of my trip. Soon I will see the real train. Soon I will go to another country. I checked my phone. The time was 6:25. Good. I was on time. The metro stopped. I followed the people up the stairs. And then I saw it, the railway station. The building was very big. The roof was high. There was glass and metal everywhere. Many people were walking fast. Some had big bags. Some had small ones. The air was full of voices. I stopped and looked. I felt small in that big space. But I also felt excited. I thought, this is the place. This is where my journey begins. I walked slowly into the main hall. The floor was shiny. The roof was very high, and I could see the steel beams. There were big glass windows where the early morning light was coming in. The place was alive. I could hear many sounds together. Rolling suitcases. Children laughing. A baby crying. Announcements on loudspeakers. People talking in different languages. I smelled coffee and fresh bread from a bakery inside the station. The smell made me feel hungry again, even after breakfast. I stopped near the big board. The board was full of lines with numbers and letters. Some trains were on time. Some trains were delayed. The letters were moving every minute, making a small click-click sound. I looked carefully. I wanted to see my train. I moved my eyes slowly, line by line, until I found it. Train 542, destination, Vienna, departure, 7:10, platform 4, yes. There it was. My heart beat faster. I checked my watch. It was 6:40. I still had half an hour. I followed the signs. The sign said platforms 1 to 6 this way. I walked with many other people. Some walked fast, like they were late. Some walked slowly, like me. The corridor to the platform was long. The walls were white, and there were posters with pictures of cities and mountains. I looked at them and thought, maybe one day I will also go there. When I arrived at platform 4, I saw my train already waiting. It was very long. The color was white with blue lines. The windows were big. The doors were closed, but people were standing near them. Some looked calm. Some looked nervous. I stood still for a minute. I wanted to take in the moment. This was my first train. I was really here. Near the platform, there was a small cafe. I smelled the coffee again, stronger now. I decided to buy one. I walked to the counter. A man in a white shirt smiled at me. "Good morning," he said. "Good morning," I answered. "One coffee, please." He made the coffee quickly. I watched the steam rise from the cup. I liked the smell. "Here you are," he said. "Thank you," I said, and gave him some coins. I held the warm cup in my hands. It felt good because the air on the platform was cool. I took a small sip. The taste was strong, but nice. It made me feel more awake. I stood near the train and drank my coffee slowly. I looked at the people around me. A family with 2 children was laughing. The children had small backpacks. The mother was holding tickets. The father was taking pictures. 2 young men were talking loudly. They had guitars on their backs. Maybe they were musicians. An old couple stood close together. The man held the woman's hand. They looked quiet but happy. I thought, so many people, so many stories. And all of us will travel on the same train. I looked up. The sky was not black anymore. It was pink and orange. The sun was rising behind the buildings. The light came into the station. It touched the glass roof and made it shine. It was beautiful. I felt lucky to be here at this moment. I thought, this sunrise is for me. It is the start of my journey. I finished my coffee. I threw the empty cup in the bin. Then I touched my pocket and took out my ticket again. I wanted to be sure. Train 542. Vienna. 7:10, Platform 4. Yes, everything was correct. I looked at the big clock above the platform. It was 6:55. Only 15 minutes left. My stomach felt a little strange. I was not sick, but I felt the mix of fear and excitement. I thought, what if I go to the wrong carriage? What if I cannot find my seat? Then I took a deep breath. I told myself, relax. Just follow the signs. You can do it. At 7 o'clock, the loudspeaker made an announcement. Train 542 to Vienna is now ready for boarding on Platform 4. The sound made my heart jump. This was it. The real moment. The doors of the train opened with a soft sound, pshhh. People started to move. Some walked fast. Some walked slowly. I took my backpack. I held my ticket in my hand. I stood in line with the others. I felt like my legs were shaking a little. The train was clean and bright. The floor was gray. The walls were white with blue lines. There were lights on the ceiling. I could smell something fresh, maybe the air conditioner. I looked around. The seats were soft and blue. Each seat had a small table in front of it. Above the seats, there were racks for bags. Some people were already putting their luggage there. The train felt new, modern, and safe. My nervous feelings became smaller. I thought, yes, this looks nice. I can sit here for many hours. I walked down the narrow corridor. The numbers of the seats were written above. I counted 18, 19, 20, 21, and then 22. Yes. That was my seat. It was next to the window. I felt happy. I wanted to look outside during the whole trip. I put my backpack on the rack above the seat. It was not easy, but I did it. Then I sat down. The seat was soft and comfortable. I touched the window with my hand. The glass felt cool. I smiled to myself. This is my place. This is where my adventure starts. At exactly 7:10, the doors closed with a soft sound. The train moved slowly at first. I felt a gentle push in my body. The wheels made their music, clack clack, clack clack. I looked out of the window. The platform started to move away. The people standing outside became smaller and smaller. The station roof passed above me, and then, the city appeared. Tall buildings, quiet streets, small shops, they all passed quickly. Then the city became smaller, too. Trees appeared. Fields appeared. The sky was now golden with the morning sun. I could not stop smiling. This was my first train ride. And it already felt amazing. The carriage was clean and modern. The seats were soft and blue. Above them were racks for bags. The lights were bright but not too strong. The air felt fresh, better than on a bus. Across from me sat a young woman with a red scarf. She smiled and said, "Good morning." "Good morning," I said back. Her name was Sophia. She was from Spain. She was traveling to Vienna to see her friend and go to a concert. When I told her this was my first train ride, she laughed gently. "Then you will enjoy it," she said. Trains are special. After 20 minutes, we passed a small town. I saw red roofs, a tall church tower, and children walking to school. It was only for a minute, then it was gone. That was the magic of the train. You could see many lives, many places, in just a short time. Sophia asked me about my country. I told her about my small city and my dream to travel. She told me about her home near the sea in Spain. "The sea is blue, the food is fresh, and people like to talk and laugh," she said. I liked her words. I wrote a few notes in my notebook. First train. Morning sun. Friendly people. Small towns. I wanted to remember everything. At 4 o'clock, the train slowed down. Tall buildings appeared outside the window. Cars moved on busy roads. People walked on the sidewalks. Vienna was here. The loudspeaker said, "We will soon arrive at Vienna's central station. Please prepare to leave the train." Everyone stood up. People took their bags from the racks. The family checked the children's coats. The man with the laptop closed it and put it away. Sophia pulled her red suitcase. I took my backpack and held it tightly. My heart beat fast again, but this time it was not fear. It was joy. The train stopped. The doors opened. People walked out. I stepped onto the platform. Warm air touched my face. I heard many voices and saw many lights. At night, I lay in my hostel bed. I remembered the day. Waking up early in the dark. drinking coffee at the station, boarding the train, seeing the sunrise, the towns, the rivers, the mountains, meeting Sophia and the older man, crossing the border, finally arriving in Vienna. I realized something important. Traveling is not only about the place where you arrive. It is also about the journey itself, the people, the views, the feelings. I closed my eyes and smiled. My first train ride was finished,